Hello, Watch Your Chat here with your reminder that life's short. Buy the watch. So this would be a review of the IWC Schaffhausen International Watch Company Mark 18. It's probably one of the more serious watches I bought after dabbling in a couple of Seikos, the Seiko Prospects, Seiko 5, and also a Swatch watch. So we'll give this a bit of a wind. I'll give it a bit of a close-up as well. It's a blue sunburst dial, and this one is a Le Petit Prince edition. A nice bracelet. Well, look at the box. Looks pretty basic box, but you get this really cool sort of travel pouch with it, which I thought was pretty good. Pretty decent. Okay. So we'll have a close look at the watch here. And it's a 5-link bracelet with polished enamel and brushed outside, brushed edges. You can see largely brushed, and it does a good job in eating up any wear, right? I wear this watch quite a fair bit, and you can't tell that there's many scratches at all, purely because of the brushed finish. Highly legible face, and let's take a bit of a loom shot. And it's got surprisingly good loom, as you can see there. Okay. Pop off the bracelet. Actually, get a wrist shot first. Quite nice. The really cool thing about this bracelet is that it's also got this micro adjustment, which you can just hidden button where the IWC is, and it comes in and out. Really cool system. Date window. It is a quick set date as well. Yep. Cool. Let's take a close look at it. So again, you normally tape it up, but this one's brushed, and normally taking off's not the problem. It's putting them back on that you get a fair bit of the scratches. So I'll do it this way anyway, because I'm relatively okay with this one. Do take care when you undo your watch straps. It can cause a bit of damage. Okay, so now we get a closer look now. Just a really nice blue finish, and when you look at certain angles, it looks black. So the back of this is a the Petit Prince, and the really cool thing about this was that some proceeds of this watch actually went to charity. I think it was to schools in France. 6 bar. It's pretty good for what it is. Screw down crown. That's good too. And look, let's go through the pros and cons of this watch, right? So the pros would be that dial, that sunburst dial. It's quite attractive. The brush finish, this bracelet. It's a really good bracelet, and I'll get a closer look at it, right? So it's got a few features that we spoke about, that micro adjustment. But what's really cool is, see these little buttons here. If you press them, and I probably should be a bit careful here. I won't use that. But what I'd say is, I'll use a pen. I do have a proper tool, but didn't have it ready. I should have prepared myself a bit better. So we'll just press this with a pen. So you see that there, I just press that button and it's moved that link out. So you can see them along the full way. You can do that and basically you pop out these beads and you can size the bracelet accordingly. Again, pretty cool that you can do that without needing too many tools. I would say though that it is a bit cumbersome because you pull one out and it kind of falls apart a bit and you have to be quite mindful that it's a bit fidgety to put it back together. Leave it at that. Okay. So that's a pro. The dial's great. I'd say in terms of the cons, it's not an in-house movement, it's a ETA movement, I believe. Now, you're paying a fair bit of price for an ETA movement. I don't really care too much about that for this particular watch because I was fine with just the dial, but I suppose a lot of people in the watch community are mindful of in-house movement, so you just gotta be careful of that. I think the lug lengths are quite long. You can see here that they are quite long from end to end. So they do stick out beyond the wrist for those with smaller wrists. This is a smaller size than the usual 43 Pilot, so it suits me well, but just be mindful of those lugs. And I'll put this bracelet on, strap on, sorry. It goes really well with the leather. I've got a darker leather one, but we'll go with the lighter color here. You can see it really changes the look of the watch. Another con that people tend to pick up on, again, it doesn't bother me too much, but it does a little bit sometimes, is that, see that date window? Because of the movement size, the date window is actually quite closed in. I would have thought that if it's moved out a little bit, it would have been better. But again, that's driven by the way the movement sits in the case. Loom was good as a positive. So there's not much bad to say about the watch. One thing I would say is that for mine, it lacks a little bit of character. I've got a love-hate relationship with the watch. It does its job, it's a good beater, you can see its versatility. It's a solid watch that you can just wear as a daily watch. It's quite thin, which is good. But it does lack that little bit of character. It's somewhat boring at times. I actually went into the boutique looking for a black watch, the black dial version, and the AD didn't have one, and he just said, "Oh look, try this on." So this watch wasn't planned for me. I actually wanted the black, but the lesson there was that once I threw on the wrist, that dial just was hard to ignore. Subsequently, I went back and looked at the black, and I didn't like it at all. So lesson is that go in, try on the watch. Sometimes you think you want something and something else might come up. So if you enjoyed that video, press like and subscribe. And remember, life's short. Buy the watch. Thank you. Actually, for those of you interested, I thought I'd put this bracelet back on and see what I do when I do use tape. Now this was I think $6,000 or $7,000 watch, so it wasn't inexpensive, but as I said, it's brushed, so it's not a big worry for me in terms of the collection anyway. And some people use heat tape, which is probably a better option, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So always line up the logo with the rotation of the watch, so that's facing up. Then I'll just put on one, and see that slides on like that. You just position it, put one of them down, push it down with pressure as you're doing it, and there you go. It's clipped on. The second one's always a little bit trickier. See how it goes. Open the clasp, that tends to help. Gives you a bit more space to play with. So same thing, pressure with the thumb, force that spring bar down, push that one over, And there you go. It's in. So we'll undo the tape. Yeah. And we're back on the bracelet. Thank you. If you like that, click like and subscribe. And remember, life's short, buy the watch.